Alrighty. Looks like everything is coming correctly. And almost perfectly timed, we have people outside with loud stereos. So, what I did off screen since last time was tidying up the base and inventory and doing a couple of shopping trips. And considering how well that turned out, we're gonna tentatively attempt to do something that I shouldn't do this early. Stepped down onto the docks level a few times during shopping trips, mostly because it was more convenient. But nothing of note has been done down here, lest you worry. Fancy lighter. You literally can't see anything, you know. But hi, welcome. Like I was saying, though, we're going to, tentatively... Alright, that's a little bit cute, considering the buff that's up. We're going to tentatively attempt to start the DLC, because it does unlock another important feature. But I hope everything's going well today. The guard stops you. You notice a badge on his chest, an orange and black shield, colors being vertically divided at the center. At the bottom, it reads Aegis. Restricted area, sir. State your business. I was told there was going to be an expedition to the Black Sea and needed some extra hands. He nods. You heard right. Do you have any combat experience? Yeah, I've done a lot of fighting. Guard nods. We are Aegis Incorporated, a security company from North Underrail. We've been hired to protect scientific personnel during an important expedition to the Black Sea. We need highly skilled and competent individuals with sufficient combat experience. Background in personal protection, station security, or similar is highly desirable but not strictly necessary. If you are capable of effectively operating alone or as a part of a small, specialized team, that will greatly improve your chances of being hired. I think it is needless to say that this line of work entails great danger, but in turn, know that the monetary compensation we offer will be quite appropriate. Yeah, where do I apply? Good. Proceed down this ramp and talk with Chief Briggs. Do not wander around the dock. If you interfere with anyone's work, you will be promptly removed. How will I recognize him? Easily. You may proceed, sir. Thanks. You come up to two men having a conversation. They had better be, Laddleman. Yes, sir. I understand, sir. It won't happen with these folks. No, I guarantee it. Swear on my sister Lily. Swearing on someone will not make you sound more convincing, Laddleman. Results will. Yes, yes, sir. Understood. Don't worry. These folks will be fine, I swear. He falls silent, opting to end his thought with a nod. With a freezing, austere expression, the man turns around to go elsewhere and sees you. A mere glance at him can't but make you feel that this is the type of person who reigns over every bit of land he sets his foot on, no matter how small, insignificant, or someone else's it might be. And he is without a doubt the person you're looking for today. Are you Chief Briggs? He didn't. Oh, wait, did he say something? Name's Bacon. Game? 1. There we go. Why are you here, Bacon? I was told you were hiring mercenaries for an expedition. I want to join. Scans you again, this time more intently, then crosses his arms. As flesh and machine interweave to the sound of mechanical motion, the chief continues. You have been told where you'd be going, correct? Black Sea is ruthless. It shows no mercy to the untrained and to the unprepared, both physically and mentally. I need only the most competent and most resilient people I can find. I need soldiers, to put it simply. Otherwise, you are of no use to this expedition. Soldier you will get, sir. Believe me. Convince me, then. Why should I hire you? Okay, well, I thought that having that other thing would already count, but maybe I need to go and actually start and turn it in. Look, Chief, this is a Southerner you're talking to. My whole life, I've been doing the things you people only do occasionally, and only when someone pays you. I had to go along into Mutant Central just to get a stinking drill rotor circuit board. Imagine what I gotta endure for more serious things. You want a soldier? Hi, I'm Bacon. Nice to meet you. I didn't ask you to hold a speech, but to convince me why I should hire you. I'm waiting. Well, I'll be back with proof that I'm the person you need. Be it your way, as long as you don't waste too much of my time. Okay. So there's a few ways to qualify. One is, of course, to just have the persuasion, but we can easily open up a few rounds of that. As you approach this man, you see that he's already having a conversation with himself. He's uttering inaudible words while holding his torn robes with both of his hands. Out of nowhere, he'd start pulling his robes as if he's reenacting some scenario. From time to time, he'd swipe the air with his hands, as if he's trying to hit something invisible, only to proceed grabbing his clothes. Perhaps trying to defend himself from the same thing he's fighting. Whenever he'd swing his punches, he'd follow that with a savage-like roar. But with his shrill voice, it produces a very unpleasant, timid sound. You. He swipes the air in front of you, missing you by a hair's straw. You won't. The fist he threw at you is closed tight as he's holding something. I got you now. Upon spreading his fingers slowly to reveal his palm, he sees that there's nothing inside. He catches his breath, and then he looks at you. Oh, what do you want? Oh, watch out. Are you alright? Damn. Not again. He ran away. He looks frustrated. What are you talking about? The trophy. The lost one. The Jet Eater. He stomps the ground in rage. I will have its head. I will reclaim my trophy maker. My prey is set, and it must be slain. None have ever eluded me this much. He clenches his fists. And the carnage it left behind in its wake. He's addressing someone else. Yes, I'll find a special place for you. Could aid you in defeating this foe. I wander alone. I always did. It proved to be more than enough. But I thought about getting help. And at this point in time, after what I've already tried, I think I might have to drop the lone hunter ways, he gasps. Northwest of the core ring, the filthy cave where the serpent lies. That's the spot. What's in it for me? You will become a trophy hunter. I will give you the tools to become one. Sounds good. Meet you there. The hunt is still on. He starts inspecting himself while making various toned-down growling noises. As he pulls his arms inside the robe for a brief moment, you can see that he has his hunting gear beneath it. Each time he reaches various areas inside the robe, he makes a slight nod to himself with an occasional vocal confirmation, talking out loud to himself in the process. It would seem he is preparing for action. Alright. So the feature that we want to have access to is Ray's shop. But as you can see, it's locked and there's security cameras around, which is a terrible combination for wanting to not make literally everybody your enemy in the city. We're going to properly start exploring Foundry. We'll take up a quest while we're here, and subsequently immediately turn it in, because we can. See a man leaning on a rusty fence. Judging by his appearance, he seems to be one of the Foundry guards, but unlike the others, his watchful eyes seem more concerned with evaluating passing women than trying to catch signs of unlawful behavior. He straightens up upon seeing you approach him, coming up just taller than average, picks up his rifle, which was also placed against the fence, and offers a friendly, informal greeting. Hey man, how's it going? You seem pretty laid back in comparison to the other guards. He chuckles. You got me there. It might surprise you, but being a guard in Foundry is a very, very boring job. You gotta stand around all day, breathe this damn polluted air, and worst of all, you have to be nice to people. It sucks. I just want to shoot things, it's that simple. The outer perimeter patrols at least get to fight something, but in here, absolutely nothing interesting happens. What about all those creatures that attacked the miners? Ah, yes. I was so happy about the whole affair because I thought I was finally going to shoot some stuff, you see? But no. There's this large beast that's impervious to bullets and other stuff. The mayor told our chief to order everyone not to engage the creatures any longer and retreat back. We have to think about it, discuss it, blah blah. Yeah, I've heard a few things about that beast. Can you tell me more about it? He looks around, then leans closer. See, we're not allowed to talk about all this stuff publicly. But since I don't really care about the rules, and because I'm freaking bored as hell, here goes. You see, everybody's heard of the smaller creatures, the ones that look like, kind of like spiky rocks with 4 legs and an ugly snout. Well, those things got a bigger, badder brother that's so heavily armored it makes our guns feel like toys. The damn thing is completely impervious to bullets. Now everyone and their mother is wetting their pants, and the higher-ups are taking their sweet time in discussing what to do next. Hoppers. Back in my day, my pals and me would take on anything. Men, beast, or both. We had the freaking guts. You know, don't think, just jump in and fight. But these guys in Foundry, hoppers. Hoppers, I tell you. You mentioned some pals of yours. Yeah, well, back in the day I used to be part of some bandit gang from Core City. Hey, life was tough. A man's got to make a living somehow. And if that includes relieving people of excess Karens, then, well. Anyway, we were all very young and fearless. We had the guts to fight anything and anyone. Unfortunately, many of us got killed because we had more guts than brains, but I missed that mentality. It was fun. Well, you seem to have done better than others. Yeah, but if it wasn't for my best friend, I'd probably be decomposing in some ditch by now. Him and we used to be so close, like, eyeballs. Bad comparison, sorry. The point is, we were very close, and we got into so much trouble together. Thankfully, we always pulled through. Who is this man? Gorski was his name. He was this big, strong bastard, tough as hell. You know, no-nonsense kind of guy who'd punch you in the face and break every bone in it if you so much as looked at him the wrong way. He makes a brief pause. Damn, it's been like 13 years or so since I last saw him. I heard somewhere that he later went to Southgate Station. I miss the bastard. This place is so damn boring. You heard right. He did move to SGS. I too came from there and have had the pleasure of meeting the man. Well, I'll be damned, he laughs. This is incredible. How's my little pal holding up? From what you told me, I'd say he hasn't changed one bit. He laughs. I'm so glad that man hasn't changed. He used to be a beast. You know what? When you see him again, tell him Dan Forte said hi. He'll recognize the name right away. Unless his memory went to hell after all these years. But nah, even if it did, he wouldn't forget his old pal. You tell me an interesting story about you and Gorski. Why not? It's not like I'm busy. He laughs. Okay, listen up. This one's from more than 10 years ago, he chuckles. The good old days. As I already mentioned, Gorski and I used to be part of the same gang. Life was decent with those guys. We had the skills, had the courage, and because of that, we had a bit of money in our pockets. So one day we were on the prowl in the vicinity of Core City when we ran into a rival gang's patrol, the Black Crawlers. They used to be the biggest, baddest gang in Core City, and even that little patrol seemed like an army in comparison to the few of us. First shots were instantly fired, and the very first one ended up blowing our point man's brain to smithereens, poor guy. All of us got behind cover, exchanged fire with them for a while, and soon only Gorski and I remained breathing from our group. Bullets were flying all over the place, grenades exploded around us. It was pure chaos. A dozen of those damn crawlers were still alive, and they were slowly approaching our position. They started to surround us, and to make things worse, we were running low on ammo. That's when Gorski got mad. Oh, you should have seen that angry face. He laughs. He took his last grenade, threw it in their general direction, and then charged them. They couldn't believe what they were witnessing. He had this maniacal grin that would scare a lurker into becoming a fungivore, and started mowing down our enemies. Of course, I just couldn't let him have all the damn fun. I stormed them too, and together we started annihilating everything that moved. I screamed from the top of my lungs while emptying my magazine into those poor fools, just bra-da-da-da-da-da. And anyway, soon enough Gorski was out of ammo. But that didn't stop him from killing people. He punched them, stabbed them, and yelled at them till he found one measly guy behind cover whose teeth he smashed in with the butt of his now empty gun, then slit his throat with a knife. That guy ended up being the only son of the Crawler's leader, and his death would later cause us a lot of problems. But that's a whole different story. All in all, soon after I fired my last shot, I heard the last Crawler release his dying groan. After a moment, once we realized that it was indeed all over, Gorski approached me, still breathing heavily, all covered in blood. Then he said, I remember it clearly, he said, "I need to bring more bloody bullets next time." You barely make out the last part of the sentence due to him bursting out in laughter. Oh man, it was all so crazy. To this day, I have no idea how we survived against such slim odds. Well, just the two of us at least. That's amazing. You had to be there, man. You had to be there to fully experience the carnage. He laughs. Those were the days. Again, tell Gorski I said hi the next time you see him. You tell me something about Foundry? Look, friend, you better ask someone else to be your tour guide. My job is far too boring to further bore myself answering boring questions. As you can probably see, I'm bored. So yeah, the security head of SGS had a colorful youth. A pair of frowning eyes track you as you make your approach. Before you is a thin, short man wearing a well-made leather vest with finely polished shoulder pads cast out of metal, and his coal-black gloves, leather boots, and pants seem to be of the same high quality. He addresses you with a tone of voice appropriate to his displeased expression. What is the meaning of this? Who are you? Actually, it doesn't matter anyway. We're busy. So if you could please leave us to our discussion, we would really appreciate it. I apologize for disturbing you, but I need to ask you a couple of questions. Are you the mayor of this place? He briefly exchanges looks with the man standing next to him. Yes, I see where this is headed. Fine, I'm Martin Marshall, and you're right. I am the mayor of Foundry. The gentleman next to me is Chief Dalton Banner of the Foundry Guard. Chief's appearance is quite the opposite of the mayor's, as he is both taller and wider-shouldered. At his mere presence, you felt the instant you entered the room. Yet despite his imposing image, his calm and collected behavior is in contrast to the mayor's so far feverish temperament. Thus, the chief politely nods after having been introduced. Well then, who are you? I'm Bacon. Pleased to meet you both. Bacon. That's well and good indeed. Now that we're properly introduced, unless you have something of utmost importance to tell us, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Heard you had some problems with the mind creatures. Is there anything I can do to help? I'm sure you did, but please, let me tell you something. Foundry is one of the richest and best defended stations in Lower Underrail. We have so many well-trained and well-armed men and women to take on anyone who tries to disturb us. Why would we need your help? Well, probably not going to succeed on the persuasion check, but maybe you people are not as tough as you think. If you were, you would have had this problem taken care of by now. And maybe I'm the man that can do just that for you. I offered my help. You want it? Good. You don't? You're lost. He laughs, not convinced. Really think you can deal with our problems? You? One man? Just find something else to do, please. Well, I came from Southgate Station. I've helped them deal with a number of difficult problems in the past. That's what I do. That's what you say. You do realize I can't exactly trust any random person that walks to my office, do you? I'm sorry, but if you really want to gain my trust, you're going to have to do a much better job. You're going to have to do much better than simply be a Southgater who thinks he's better than everyone. Huh? Then you have it under control, I guess. Let's talk about something else. Do you need help with anything? Why do you ask me this? Yeah, just trust me, bro. It's fine. Why would I tell you anything? On the other hand, why am I even talking to you? Just leave us, please. Yes. Are there any jobs available around here? Hmm. As a matter of fact, I believe I might have something for you. Let's hear it. Very good. You are, I presume, familiar with the Ironheads, one of the largest gangs in lower Underrail. Well, one of their clans is causing a lot of trouble to Foundry and the whole region. These scum, and that is what they are being led by a man who calls himself Baylor. A man known for two things: his immense physical strength and a sinister red cybernetic eye. Yeah, we did. And unfortunately for us, I suppose his successful leadership can be added to that list. We, Foundry, have placed a bounty on his head for 1,000 Karens. If you can bring me his eye as proof, the money's all yours. So, I could give the eye right now, but because I'm not sure how that will factor in. Well, you know what? I can speed through the text. Let's just give him the cybernetic eye without saying anything. He smiles briefly. Pure gold. I see you ran into him already, and I am more than glad to see you have managed to accomplish such a difficult task. Now that he's dead, we'll need to wait and see what happens with the Ironheads. I'm expecting a favorable outcome. Favorable for everybody but them. He hands you 1,000 Stygians. You earned this. Well done. Let's see if we got the experience. Is it only worth one? Hold up. Wow, it is only worth one oddity point. But yeah, no, it paid out just fine. Bacon, so far you've proven to me you're a man I can trust, and because of that, I have a small job for you. The Foundry Guard patrolmen have spotted a group of faceless just west of Foundry. I would like you to go on a reconnaissance mission for us. We've been observing them for some time now, but their intentions are not yet clear to us. I just want you to try and find out what they're up to. Nothing else. Your reward will be 100 Karens if you can accomplish the job. Understood. I'm on my way. Yeah. It's one of the reasons why wandering through Underrail is honestly not a bad decision to make. Because when you get to some of these locations, go do here and do this. Here, I already did it. Oh, okay. As for the Faceless, we've actually already been right next to their location for that. The woman seems to be counting Karens, but she swipes them from the counter and into her hand, and then into her pocket as soon as you come near. She leans on the counter with both her arms and gives you a friendly smile. She is somewhat short, but lean and healthy looking, yet her voice, while light, exhibits a noticeable degree of harshness. Welcome to Foundry's Metal Store. I'm Leone. What can I get you? Let's see what you have to offer. Of course. Do note that we don't have any of our famous T-chrome alloy components at the moment. The mine is closed right now, but hopefully it'll be back up and running sometime soon. Okay, nothing of note for me right now. Seem to be working here alone with all this heavy stuff. Yes, I work mostly alone and move heavy things all the time. Funny that people ask me that question often. Just because I'm a woman doesn't mean I can't do a man's job. I'm a foundry woman, for crying out loud. She smiles. And honestly, I really love what I do. It beats risking my neck in the mine, but if I had to do it, I'd do that too. Us women aren't as friable as you might think. What can you tell me about T-chrome? Well, T-chrome is an alloy made from titanium and chromium, and I'm proud to say that this particular alloy was first made in Foundry, and only just recently. It Combination of, titanium's low density and high strength with chromium's high melting point creates a material that is reflective and heat resistant, as well as durable. Unfortunately, the mine is closed at the moment, so chromium excavation has been halted, but hopefully it'll be back up and running sometime soon. Can you tell me about Foundry? It's one of the best stations to live in. Mineral excavation and metallurgy is what keeps Foundry running. Our mine is rich with titanium, aluminum, and ore, and now that we've also found chromium deposits, we're getting more and more golden. There is one bad side to it all. All this requires hard work and in dangerous and often unhealthy conditions. Many people die in the mine, but many also die all over Underrail from bandits, starvation, and disease. My store is in the best spot. Turnover's good, I'm nowhere near the mine, and I'm surrounded by big, strong men who keep me safe. She finds it difficult to conceal the shy smile. So, are you buying something? You know anything about the mine creatures? She shrugs. Really can't tell you much. The miners dug into a new cave and ran into some weird creatures. Now the mine is closed and the foundry guard is dealing with the problem. That's all we were told. I hope that was helpful. Thanks and bye. We will be getting much more intimate with them in the future once a specific material can be acquired, but that's not for a bit. Yeah, you might have noticed that I never did enter this cave. That was intentional. Behold. Yeah, augmented rat hounds. 410 health for a rat hound. Faceless. Centaur unit with 670 health. Yeah. He silently holds you at gunpoint. For a while, nothing happens. Nothing but the subtle exchange of glances between his weapon at the ready companion. Oh, between his weapons at the ready companions, done in such a curiously responsive manner, as if an aspect of some kind of unspoken conversation. No, and we don't want to kill them. Just take it from me. Give him time to see what his intentions are. He holds you at gunpoint silently, and for a while, nothing happens. Nothing but the exchange of glances performed by his weapons at ready companions. Wait. Oh, okay. That might have been a small glitch. That was literally the same message twice. He then reaches for something on the inside of the chin of his mask, and soon after that, you can hear a crude, synthesized voice. Identify yourself. I'm Bacon from Southgate Station. What is your business here? The leaders of Foundry want to know why you're here. He pauses briefly, as if unsure how to proceed. Something of value has been stolen from us. We believe it might have found its way to their community. If you can help us locate the missing item, we will be on our way. Oh, okay. I was wondering how we had this information already, but thinking on it, that weird computer unit that we got from the other Ironhead facility, I never remember that item being a thing, but I guess that counts as having the information. If it's that cube you're looking for, I can tell you now that this item is in possession of a man called Cornell. He's the leader of the Acid Hunters gang, which usually hangs out in Core City. At this point, it's highly unlikely that the item is anywhere near Foundry. But let's act like we're stupid. Alright, I'll see what I can do. What was stolen exactly? We may not tell you this, but the item is very distinct. People who came in contact with it will certainly remember it. Inquire with the local merchants. The thief who stole it might have attempted to sell it to them. Okay, well, they won't give us additional information, so... He answers after an uncomfortably long pause. Providing you are telling the truth, we have no reason to remain here. Take this as a sign of our appreciation for your assistance in this matter. He hands you what looks to be a high-quality power core. What will you do now? The matter is very simple. We will retrieve this item. Those who would stop us from doing so will be dealt with. Our business here is done. Okay. So that's one oddity experience point. And oh, what's the quality on that core actually? Tiny. Nice. That's not possible. You'll understand why eventually. Yeah, you'll understand eventually. It's fine. But while I have no intentions, well, I guess I could actually see this quest line through. Having killed Baylor should qualify us to get into the Black Sea. I talked to the Faceless. You talked to them? What did you find out? Let's see. They were looking for some kind of item, something that means a lot to them. But it turned out this item wasn't in Foundry. After talking to them about it, they got into their tunneler and left. Interesting. We will still need to stay alert, as it could be some kind of ruse. But the fact that they weren't hostile to you is not a bad indicator by all means. You did well. Here's your reward. Another 100 Karens. Oh, that's unfortunate. So he only gives Karens. The actual points come from the Faceless. Can you tell me about the mind creatures? I cannot discuss that with you. I'm sorry, that's classified information. Huh? What is it now? I heard you have some problems with some mind creatures. You gonna be a bitch still? Yes. Chief told me you are someone who can be trusted. As far as I understood, you were of great assistance in some important matters. Well and good. If you really are so keen on helping us, Bacon, then why not give you a chance? You do have energy. Alright. As you know, unless you've been living in the most remote cave unknown to humanity, Foundry is the largest exporter of iron in Lower Underrail. What's even better is that our mine is rich with not just iron, but aluminum, titanium, and, as of recently, chromium. We discovered large amounts of it several months ago, in the form of chromite ore. Needless to say, as soon as we discovered it, our miners began following the chromite veins, and so, a few weeks ago, they mined into a new cavern, and encountered the very creatures you mentioned. What they saw there was unlike anything we have ever seen or even heard of before. These beings had shells made of rock with metallic blades protruding from their backs. Yes, you heard me right. Shells of rock. These creatures were aggressive, and we had to bring in the Foundry Guard to deal with them. Now, those creatures, while resilient, were still no match for our brave troops. True problem revealed itself when the guards encountered the beast. The beast? Yes. That thing may look like its smaller siblings, but it is in fact a four-legged boulder, a huge monster which stopped the foundry guard dead in its tracks. Meanwhile, it is unstoppable, and the guardsmen tried nearly everything. They shot it, burned it, threw grenades at it. Nothing. It's hard rock. Most of the men sent to clear the mine are now dead, and I've had no other options but to order the closing of the mine. This problem will be hurting Foundry really fast if we don't find a way to deal with these things. We have days, a week at most, before we run out of ore supplies, after which all production will stop. What can I do to help? We need a solution to this problem, and we would appreciate it if you can help us find one. At one point, we considered using explosives to collapse the tunnel and seal them off, but our mining supervisor advised against it. What's more, even though things have been quieter in the mines for a few days now, the rock creatures are emerging from the mines and attacking our citizens. Even though all entrances to the mine are heavily guarded, some will still have gone missing. Might have interrupted you for a second, sir. No, not at all, Chief, not at all. I was almost done anyway. Go ahead. As you see, young man, this is a problem which could, if left unsolved, mean the end of Foundry. The mine does not only feed the mouths of these people here, but also secures their protection. Do you think the Foundry Guard operates solely on goodwill? If you really want to help us, my suggestion is that you first speak with the only survivor from the unit that was tasked with clearing the mine. He knows more about the creatures than any one of us. His name is Saban Mulov, and you can find him at the mine entrance with the other guards. That is just to the east of Metalworks. Why didn't you relieve him of duty? I think he deserves some rest after what he's been through. I discussed that with him, but he was adamant about staying in service. He asked to be posted right at the mine entrance, the first line of defense. Brave man, no doubt, and a fine example to the other guardsmen. Got it. Is that all? Nearly. You might also want to speak with Marcos Banti. He's our mining supervisor. You'll also find him at the mine entrance. He did advise us against collapsing that part of the mine with explosives. Talk to him again. Perhaps you could work out some solution to the problem. I believe we've gone through everything. I'm on the job. Well and good. Go now and report to us once you have something. But what if I did other things? So I could commit to this right now, but I think this should qualify us. Core City Merchant District. So for the record, we are not going to start and finish the DLC. The DLC, I would not go into it heavily until post 20, just because of the nature of it. Everything, we basically just need to get it started so that I can go to Ray's shop. But unfortunately, so much as getting it started, it's a rough experience. There's a reason I saved before I wasted the juice. Rat Hound Omegas? Nah. You're back. Speak. Killed an Ironhead boss by the name of Baylor, alone, by walking into his base near Foundry and doing what I do best. I don't know a lot about local affairs. However, as soon as the chief turns around and speaks to the man behind him, he finds the aforementioned to be already at attention. Crawler Omegas? No, you stop. You stop. I overheard you speaking, sir, and wanted to confirm what this man here's talking about. Yeah. One of the new laborers is from Foundry, and he told me about what happened, with Baylor. These Ironheads are the scourge of South Underrail, and one of their clans grew to become really big and hardcore, the one near Foundry. Baylor's the leader, and there was a bounty on his head, and this guy came in and collected it like a boss. His words, Phillies, he's a laborer. Thank you, Latterman. That'll be all. Well, are you convinced? He looks at you for a second, then nods a few times. Yes, I have yet to actually see you in action, but for now I am satisfied enough with what you... He glances behind him, and Latterman had told me. For now. Alright, Bacon, listen up. We, Aegis Incorporated, have been employed to protect a team of scientists from the University of Dees undertaking an expedition to the Black Sea, or as it's known by the locals, the Hell's Gut. The sea lies in a vast, unexplored cavern where a technologically advanced community existed until about 2.5 to 3 centuries ago. Say nothing. After this community was no more, nature reclaimed the sea. The resulting closed ecosystem has produced a large number of unique and aggressive species which, in tandem with the pirates and other inhabitants who have settled in various parts of the region, currently pose the largest threats to the expeditionary staff. In addition to that, remnants of this community's defense systems could still be online, which adds another layer of danger which we have to account for. This is just a brief summary. You will receive the full briefing should you choose to join the expedition, in which case, these are the options regarding your duties as a sec trooper. Either you will be assigned to basic camp security, to an escort team, or to a recovery team. Given your experience, the last two options are more probable, but that I will have to decide once we return to camp. I wonder why there's so few people here. How long have you been at the Black Sea already? We had set our camp up 2 weeks ago. We've returned for supplies and additional staff. Intelligence. Additional staff? Sounds more like replacement staff. Your men were killed and you needed more, and it's not the pirates, because you must have prepared for those. No, this is something no one expected, but now you're in trouble. If I'm going to go on this expedition, I'd like to know what's going on. He takes a step closer and puts his substitute arm on your shoulder. The lifeless hand squeezes you gently, in relative terms, before the chief brings his face closer to yours. Don't repeat this mistake. Your nerves are now screaming for mercy as the powerful hand squeezes them lifeless. For a moment, every part of your body but your shoulder has been expelled from your mind's domain as you feel nothing other than this acute pain. Thankfully, the chief releases his grip after but a few seconds, because the consequences will be severe. He then takes a step back. You have the absolute right to know what you will be getting yourself into, but I will not tolerate this kind of behavior again.
Excuse me, Princess.
It is true, we have suffered casualties. We have lost a few good soldiers to the pirates and the wildlife. These are the risks of the job. Some of the workers, Southerners, have become unsettled, panic-stricken, or have suffered illness and wanted to abandon the expedition. Some of our own staff got sick as well. All of these are relatively minor setbacks, but enough to slow us down and force us to an earlier trip to Core City than we had planned. However, we will not allow any of that to affect our mission too negatively. We're almost finished in Core City and will soon resume with our mission. Will I be able to return to Core City before the expedition is over, if necessary? Most of your duties should not require any trips outside the Black Sea, however. What can you tell me about this community? Who were they and what happened to them? You'll receive all relevant info in due time. Right now, you and I have other things to discuss first. What are you actually looking for there? We will discuss, okay. Let us discuss payment. Your payment will largely depend on the task you will be performing. Guard duty payment ranges from 50 to 100 Karens per day. The average is around 7 per hour. Escort and recovery duties are paid double or triple that, depending on a range of factors. What do you mean by escort and recovery? So, I must say this. Like, the dude does kind of turn around based on how you do stuff. But Chief Briggs is easily the biggest hard-assed asshole. And you're going to see why. Escort teams escort scientific personnel to certain locations and protect them while they perform their work there. Recovery teams work independently, operating in areas unsafe for scientific personnel, like abandoned facilities and other establishments, with the tasks of recovering items of interest, technological equipment, armament, personal items, various samples, etc. Or, as I like to call those recovery teams, scavenger teams. Yeah. He glances at Lattleman. Be quiet. Therefore, he glances at Lattleman before fixating on you. The exact payment depends on the area of operation and danger involved. Superior performance might also induce considerable bonuses to previously mentioned figures. Pardon me. I've heard all I needed to know. I'm in. When are we leaving for the camp? Very good. Welcome aboard. Consider yourself a security trooper for the duration of this expedition. You will receive your gear as soon as we return to camp. There, you will also be introduced to the rest of the staff, as well as to Professor Oldfield himself. Lattleman, what is our status? Sir? How much longer before we are able to return to the camp? Oh yes, we're almost done loading the medical supplies, sir. Yeah, there'll be a good amount of stuff that they just hand over to you, but the good stuff comes later. DLC's actually got some really nice, like, area-specific gear. Unfortunately, a lot of them are guns, and, well, no guns this run. We've got, I think, he looks at his mobile computer. Yeah, frozen meat and power cell crates, and yes, most electronic equipment marked as requested still remains to be loaded. And that's it. Who needs guns anyway? I wouldn't mind them, but we're managing. And that's it. Yep, I'd say we'll be ready in 1 hour or so, sir. Very good. Very good. He nods a few times. Wow. Guns are for people who want to go pew-pew and not be literally right up in the face of a crawler. He nods a few times. That is faster than I thought. Very good. You heard it. If you have anything else to do before we set sail, now is the time. Do not be late. Wow. Also, I don't know what's up with it, but your icon is flicking on and off. Oh well. I don't have anything important left to do. I'll wait here until the crates have been loaded up. He nods. Very well, you'll be notified when that happens. I have other things to attend to in the meantime. Begin the expedition. Twitch probably dying. Good to know. Well, I have no way of ascertaining if it's dead unless I see the stream, like, die. So I'll do my best to stop if I notice that. Oh, I thought we had a... okay, I guess they waited until you get here. At last, you step onto dry land, but your eyes see little of it. They've been enthralled by the cavernous firmament doming over you. You gaze upon the stalactitic constellations decorated with dangling roots, gleaming crystals, and numerous bat colonies. These stalactites unmistakably insinuate their arbitration over the sea and the land below them. For death from above, while pretty much omnipresent in subterranean life, has a significantly more acute and supremely inescapably terrifying presence here than anywhere else you've ever been before. This realization pierces you mentally, not unlike one of those speleothemic spears could physically. Life underground comes with a plethora of phobias, but this vast place evokes a uniquely crushing, creeping, choking feeling of smallness and utter insignificance in the grand scheme of things. And it is only being exacerbated by the many sounds violently colliding in this open space, those of air currents, restless waters, and wild yet unseen life, all the while reverberating deeply and rhythmically, as though all of them are combining into one singular heartbeat of the cavern itself. Somewhere out there, in the far distance, you can almost hear the faint but distinct sounds of drums and horns, the prime instruments of the underture to this expeditionary play whose next act has just begun. A voice grounds you. Ah, welcome to the Hell's Gut. Hope you brought some light clothes, Bacon, 'cause it's dominating hot in here. He collects the sweat from his forehead with a handkerchief and squeezes it to the side. Yeah. Chief Briggs turns to the two of you after ending the conversation with the other man. Flatterman, after the laborers have unloaded everything from the boats, show them to their tents and make sure Marcus receives the equipment he requested as soon as possible. Medical tent as well. Yes, yes, sir, as you command. You, Bacon. The tent you'll be sleeping in is just ahead. First one to the left, opposite the kitchen. Unpack your things and meet me in Professor Oldfield's tent as soon as you've done so. It's a small tent just past yours, also on the left side. Yes, sir. He nods and turns to Lattleman. And if you see Yahota, tell her to meet me in my tent in about 20 or so minutes. I want her full report on what has been happening in my absence. Yes, yes, sir. I will, sir. That is all. Carry on with your tasks. And also, an autosave here. But yeah, notice bunch of little jet boats. Hey, Bill. I obviously won't deter you, but I know since you're playing the game yourself, I did just enter the expedition, which probably won't matter in the long scheme, but that might spoil some things for you, maybe, perhaps. Okay, fair enough. Glad to have you all the same. Hope all's going well. Appears the chief notices you enter. Promising enough. Speak of the devil, our new sect trooper. The elder man fixes his glasses before inviting you further in. Do come in. Bacon, was it? I am Edward Oldfield. Look, it's a Underrail. I see, I got you. Professor of Supercorporation History at the University of Dees. Also, the man responsible for this whole expedition, or so I've been told. A smile peeks through his mustache. Pleased to meet you, Professor. Likewise. Welcome to the camp. Right then, forgive me, but we will have to get straight to the point. Bacon, Chief Briggs and I have just been discussing you, and we've come to the conclusion that a person with your experience and skill set would be best assigned to one of the recovery teams. He removes his glasses and proceeds to wipe them clean. For this, you will also have to thank Mr. Latimer for backing your story. His extensive insight into the many of the happenings south of Core City, is one of the reasons that why we've hired the man in the first place. Isn't that right, Chief? Yes, Professor, you are correct. Even though he has proven to be one of the most difficult men I've had the misfortune to work with. Oh, the man is just free-spirited. He is something else, Professor, certainly. He looks at you. But let us not keep Bacon idle. Yes, therefore, we feel you'd produce far better results in the field rather than, say, by being assigned to mere guard duty. He inspects the just wiped glasses. Satisfied with the result, he puts his glasses back on. What do you say? It's the best paid job around here. Suits me just fine. But sounds right to me, but if I'm going to be searching derelict facilities, I'm going to need to learn a lot about them and their previous owners. Oh, certainly. You will receive all the information you need in due time. In fact, your first mission might just be around the corner. For while Chief Briggs has been away, we've made a breakthrough discovery. We've been stuck in the mud for far too long, but goodness me, this will propel us forward like nothing else we've done here so far. And that is precisely the reason why I've summoned you here so quickly, Richard. That is good news. So Seeger has finally managed to recover some useful data from the NPCs that were recently discovered? Exactly. And it turned out to be just the thing we were searching for. This is not good news, Richards. This is magnificent news. Magnificent. As soon as Seeger compiles all the data he's collected so far, he will bring it right. A gust of air passes over your shoulder, disturbing the top papers that are on the professor's desk. Turn around. A spindly woman enters the tent, her movements so light you weren't even able to hear her footsteps. What follows her is the sound of a shrieking siren. Yahota? Sir, we got a large number of vessels approaching the island from multiple directions. Pirates? Negative. Natives. Some of them are approaching straight from the north, some from the west, but it seems the largest part of their forces are trying to go around to the east. 200 units, maybe. Shouldn't cost 260 credits. That's 2,600. Go around to the east and land at the southeastern beach. There's a lot of them, sir. A lot of fragging savages. I tried contacting you over the comm, but you didn't respond. That sounds very wrong. Oh, okay, yeah, 1300 sounds way better. Yeah. He inspects his communicator. A battery must have died. After taking a deep breath, the professor interjects. It was only a matter of time. He pauses. Reckon there's another way to settle this, Richard? Only through superior firepower, Professor. Yahota, take teams 1, 4, and 5 and fortify the beach. 2 and 3 will control the dock choke. The rest will defend the camp. If the assault proves too strong, withdraw to the keep and meet up with Team 7, which will be defending the northern side, and establish interlocking fire with their position, taking Bacon with you as well. She scans you from tip to toe. This one? Oh, it's not free loot. You're working for that. Nice to meet you too, Yahota. Where do you find these people? Enough. We have an invading force at our doorstep. Professor, you move to Marcus's tent. It's safer. This one is too close to the shore. Yes, right away. You two, you have your orders. Move out on the double. Affirmative, sir. She looks at you. You, follow me. So welcome to Expedition. Things are going to be terrible. Oh yeah, no, Expedition has great tracks. Unfortunately, they're so far back you can't see any of them yet, and I'm not going into melee. I'll wait. Go ahead and turn the shield on, though. We've got some decent fortifications, yeah, but, Ah, there we are. Yeah, they have grenade Mark 4s. Standard grenades go up to Mark 5. I think plasmas go up to 3, and EMPs go up to 3. Yeah, this name, the Stormbeeren Kriegsfahrer. So, welcome to the natives of the Black Sea. They're terrible. And notice how our good old friend, Mr. Briggs, didn't mention them. Only 250, but here's the thing. Look at that. They have better adrenaline that they puff in combat. Their dodge and evasion went up by 40. Their strength, which they are almost exclusively melee weapons, went up by 4, so they hit like a truck. Oh, well, I'm not moving that close just to throw a inaccurate grenade. Yeah, so if you take the right feats for it, burst on SMG takes twice the cost rather than triple. So SMG full auto burst builds, really effective. Also, the fact that it's taking this long to process a turn should tell you plenty about their numbers. Level 4? Nice. And enjoy your new feat. Now we can throw a grenade, and now watch it hit our allies and turn them hostile. And just like that, we're in a fail state. Yeah, by the way, if they hit you with their grenades, it's all fun and games. If you so much as hit them with a grenade, congratulations, you're now the enemy. What do you mean, get better? Honestly, yeah, NPCs adjust. There should be like a little bit of lenience in this specific situation. Ski. You don't put a terribly large amount into throwing. You put just enough to make sure you're semi-accurate. Because throw builds are garbage. Look, if I could just drop a flashbang at my feet and it'd work on everything but me, it'd be fine. But this is the reason why I was hesitant to start the DLC. Before you can do literally anything, even leave, you need to get through this fight. And practically every engagement with the natives is suffering. No, the NPCs are doing their job. Because if it was all of them against me, one, I could throw grenades freely. But also, I wouldn't have to worry about the enemies deciding, the allies deciding, it's an acceptable loss if we just throw a grenade and it hits this guy. It's fine. You know, double standards and all. Oh boy, they are coming. Yeah, there's an idea of their numbers, by the way. Because there's still all this that isn't even lit up yet. Gee, thanks for missing everything. Yeah, see, if I had still been standing there, they still would have thrown it. Oh boy. Well, you know what? I would really like to use a grenade right now. Yeah, there's a fair amount of loot on each individual corpse. Most of it will not be useful, but they do have some unique medicine items. Somebody's getting whacked. They might have gotten one on the other side right now, but this is not over yet. I can't reach. Fun fact though, unless he fixed it, if there is a corpse of an Aegis Corps security trooper on this beach and you loot it while being observed, it's treated like stealing, so... But yeah, from the security troopers that I have in my field of vision, they're looking pretty good on the health side. Ooh, that sounded like a kill. So here's the thing, Beal, you can use that, dog crate in combat. Really? Really? So you can, you see them close enough, initiate combat, walk to them, use crate. So, right after having gotten free from the last net, I got netted again. Great! And this is where... Nope, you don't even need them to be netted. Now, the nets are useful in other locations, if you could throw, but yeah. Cut the knife? Silly? You mean cut the net? I mean, I wish that was an option. You know, that's actually a good, reasonable purpose of having a knife, but no. Wait, can I? No, I cannot. Well, this isn't really how I was going to use my side points, but I would kind of like to not be mauled, so... Probably going to die in a turn. Oh? Hmm. You should be able to. It costs 40 action points, though. Yep, one blow. That's all it took. Literally hit me for almost my full health. I checked the crate myself, but, yeah, I don't have one on me. Yeah, anytime an item says AP and then number, you can definitely use it in combat. Boy, the game loves to cost you just enough AP that you can't use whatever thing you wanted to use. That was a relatively quick turn, all considered. Great day to be in combat. You're welcome. I helped. Look, if I can initiate from stealth, I could take care of a lot of this, but I'm not dealing with their brunt in this. Oh, he you coming. You know what? That's close enough. They a coming. Don't be dumb and throw it at the allies. Okay. There you go, see? Teamwork. To be fair, though, one of my two weapons will literally shock adjacent things, so I don't know how that factors in with allies. That's cute. Why me? Well, let's see. First, we immediately top our health. Then we enable the shield. You know what? We're gonna pop morphine just so we don't immediately die. And one Aegis Sec trooper is dead. Two Aegis Sec troopers are dead. Well, I've died twice. You gotta keep in mind, the first fight is terrible. And I did the wonderful thing of making a melee character and going into this. You don't want to be in melee range. You really don't. Doesn't matter, we're gonna die again after the morphine ends. Oh, they're up this far. Did Yahota die? They speak in their own language, it's fine. And... oh. Huh. Guess that worked out. Well, I guess we're about to die to take your pick, the morphine. Yup. We'll attempt one more time, but I don't see this going too well right now, I guess. And morphine, if I hadn't taken it, it probably would have killed me with the direct blow, so... damned if you do, damned if you don't, you know? Oh boy. Even in the Black Sea, a kick in the nuts is still effective. Because they're getting this close, shield goes up. Murder him for what, Fat Lube? The dude's got nothing. I think we have the answer if you're a murder hobo or not. Just saying. Wow. Yeah, I'm not stepping out that far. That's just gonna get me killed. Ooh. They're just shooting right up here. Okay, well, if they're this close... Of course, I miss. I already made up for it. It's like the only one on this side, so this is a pretty safe commitment. Yeah, playing it like a coward has actually not only improved their survivability, but has improved mine as well. Yeah, I can't see any of them, so... Yeah. And they all used to be living enemies once upon a time. And there's still more. Oh? Oh. 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 That was it. And I didn't die. We're just going to immediately save the game now. So, Sormerbaron Sledgehammer hits pretty decent. Minimum strength of 12. But here's their version of adrenaline shots. Increases action points by 25, dodge and evasion by 40%, strength by 4 for 2 turns, temporarily removing any fatigue. After the effect expires, the consumer will be worn out and lose 3 health each turn for 10 turns. To compare it to the adrenaline shot, it is stronger, but it's shorter. Also, it has drawbacks. Snake Teeth Necklace. 4 hollow snake teeth on a string. 1 oddity point. Healing Salve, which is a 100 and then 150 total healing. But unfortunately, got a penalty to perception and dexterity of 3 for 10 turns. Vitality powder, more sledgehammers. Knives. Stormbearing Saber, which is pretty okay. Spears. Crossbows. Yeah, look at all their boats. They came ready. Oh, I can't recycle these? Wow, that's actually terrible. Here I was thinking I was going to get a lot of materials. So while unique ones might be good for the most part, unless you want one for the skill benefits they give, their weapons are not super great by any means. Good for the intimidation, though. And not the first casualty on our side. Amazing. Congratulations, you're alive. Now report to Chief Briggs. Apologies for the helicopter noises. You're still in one piece. Very good. What's Sehota's status? She's alright, she's with the rest of the troops. Are you alright, Professor? I think so. I haven't been this close to death since the Battle of Dees. Goodness me, Richard. There are so many of them, but their voices, that language. Who were these natives, anyway? The Professor and the Chief exchange looks briefly before the latter responds to you. Listen up. There are two major factions in control of the Black Sea, the pirates and the natives. Pirates call themselves the Grim Jetters. They control the southern and southeastern waters. They are not actively interfering with our operations as yet, although our patrols have had several violent encounters with them. Whereas those savages have been a thorn in our side ever since we've arrived here. By the caverns, these violent, inarticulate creatures are the cause of almost all of our problems here, and now they're trying to raze the camp to the ground and butcher us all. Goodness me. They obviously feel threatened by your presence. We tried communicating with them, but their first and only response was to resort to violence. Professor, it appears that Lattleman had been correct all along. I had him ask around Core City about the natives while we were there. Barring a few old tales, no one ever reported seeing people matching their description, whoever they are. They've had little to no contact with the rest of South Underrail. Goodness me, Richard. Who are we dealing with? These people must have settled here after Biocorp withdrew all its military from the Black Sea. But when and why? They do not appear to have adopted any of the NFT technologies, so why come here? Biocorp military? NFT? Professor, we will continue this conversation later. I need to return to my men. I have yet to determine the casualties and overall damage we have suffered. I need to finally collect my gear. See Marcus about that. His tent is the one just across from this one. Once I have assembled a recovery team, I will brief you. One moment, please, Bacon. Would you mind going to Jeremy Seeger's tent, and seeing if he has compiled any of the recovered information so far? The network is down, hopefully temporarily, and he's not responding to his comm. We're going to need this data if we plan on dispatching a recovery team. Don't you gentlemen agree? Of course he doesn't mind. Here are your orders. Collect your equipment from Marcus first, then go to Seeger. His tent is the one past the medical tent. Then return to the Professor. Is that clear? Do I see you after that, sir? I'll call you when I need you. That applies to all situations other than when it is something of utmost urgency. Do not keep the Professor waiting. Yes, sir. Professor? He leaves. Tony and Marcus seem to be discussing something and are unaware of your presence. I gotta say, I'm impressed with you, Marky. Not only did you not get zoned out, but you actually did something useful during the fight. Sure, you played with your little toys from the safety of your tent, but hey, you got the job done. That is a compliment, correct? And just for the record, the turrets can work autonomously. However, in situations such as this one, it is always the wisest course of action to have someone behind the controls for better target assessment. No, Marky. No. How many times I gotta remind you? You gotta put it kinda like this. Well, if it wasn't for me, you pipe worker, you'd be checking the pipes from your forehead right now. Yeah. Where I'm from, you gotta pull out them hardcore comebacks. Not go on about, target assessment. Checking the pipes? Oh, grind it. It's core city slang, Marky. It means to take a leak, to piss. The whole phrase was supposed to mean that one of the freaks would have made a hole in my forehead and. Okay, okay. Forget the slang. Use your own words. Just not one of them la-di-da words like urinating or, ejecting bladder liquid waste. Oh. Don't be absurd, Tone. No one uses that expression. You just made that up. Well, it's how all you northerners, fat rats, and the rest of the la-di-das sound to me. You're too uptight. He squishes his nose upward. You all sound like you're going to get pipe-working cancer if you say a naughty word. You use far too many dumb, sterile euphemisms that suck all the fun out of language. So please, the next time you want to go check the pipes, you're not urinating, but going for a piss. I see. See where this is going. How about this? If it hadn't been for me and my turrets, No, your head would have been impaled on a spear and paraded around angrily. You stinker. What? The pipe? No. He grabs his crotch. Ow. Ow. You're so lame it hurts my. While Tony is holding onto his crotch and acting out utter agony, Marcus is slowly squeezing his forehead into a chasmic frown. He erupts as soon as his irritation reaches its peak. How about I bust your nose to take your mind off your groin? Oh, that's it. That's it. Yeah. You're getting the hang of it. Oh, I am glad you at least got some of it in you, Marky. There's still hope. Another one. Give me another one. Come on, I want to hear a hardcore insult. Let's see. Why are you grabbing your crotch, Ladleman? Another migraine? Not bad. Kinda lightweight, but it's decent. Oh, you're that new sect trooper. That's Bacon, a true badass. Nice to meet you, Bacon. I'm Marcus Werther. I saw how you fought through the turret's visual feed. Impressive, unlike this blabbermouth here. Yeah, really impressive that I stuck to the back lines using grenades. You're getting the hang of it, Marky. Keep poking. Yes, well, tell us, what do you need? I need to speak with you, Marcus. What do you need? Paycheck? Money. I've yet to get used to these Stygian coins. I still think in terms of blues. United States dollars, I mean. Chief Briggs told me to see about collecting my gear. Right away. Hey Tone, would you mind handing me one of those suits? Right away. Meanwhile, take this. He hands you a device. Here's a navcom, a navigation and communication device. Its communication range is substantial and should cover the entire Black Sea. Still, I can't tell you how it's going to behave once you move beyond that or go into other cave systems or NFT facilities. As for navigation, it's fairly simple. The screen will display a grid square of the currently loaded coordinate system you're in. Now pay attention here. The coordinate system currently displayed is the one recovered from an NFT device. This means that the coordinates you read on NFT devices are the ones on your navcom, can point you to. We'll all be using these coordinates during the expedition, so we'll all understand each other. Hopefully. He smiles. He points to the navcom's display. Right now we're in D6, as you can see. Just to make it clear, letters represent your position along the east-west axis, numbers along your north-south axis. Here, Tony approaches you with a complete suit of Aegis Incorporated combat armor in his hands. As he returns to his spot behind the desk, you notice him putting away a couple of nylon bags, which were most likely used to store the items he just gave you. There's your armor. I don't think I should explain how you put it on. You have your own weapons, or that's what I've been told. But if you need anything from our armory, talk to that guy over there. He points to Ladelman. That's me. That's him. He's also got weapon attachments, spare parts, and a plethora of other related items. If you need energy weapons or anything high tech, on the other hand, see me. And that should be. Oh, yes, wait. Let's just check if the comm is working properly. Push that button, that one there, and say something. Bacon here. Speaks into his own communicator. Testing, testing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Alright, everything appears to be in order. The device will display a name next to each of the channels so you know who you're talking to. I'm on channel 1. Contact me if you need some help info, or if you need to speak to someone from the staff who doesn't have a comm of his own. That's it. You got your gear, and I hope everything was clear. Anything I can do to help with the camp's defense? There is something you can do. The NFT had plenty of automated defenses deployed on this island. Most of it is destroyed. Perhaps there is something we could still use if we knew how. And that is something you can potentially discover during the course of your assignments. You can go and zone out the savages. That'd solve our problems. Tone, you can't expect him to attack the natives all on his own. Or can you? He sighs and turns to you. Also, contact me if you find any functional military equipment, and I'll dispatch a boat to transport it to the camp if possible. It's not much to go on, I know, but hopefully something will come up. Show me the high-tech stuff. So, he has energy weapons and whatnot, and he'll take them just like most other people, but he will actually accept firearms. Which means he's a very good spot to get high content batteries. Also, solid plasma cores, your usual blueprints and whatnot. And then Levman has the good stuff. Or would, but the quality's decent, but none of it has special effects like ours, so for the most part, most of the melee weapons, you're just not going to buy them from stores, you're going to take them from unique locations. In case you're wondering what the sounds are, that's him in here trying to help this wounded sec trooper. An alluring scent invites you inside. It's rich, pleasant, and strong enough to draw a hopper out of its crevice. It's like coffee. It smells infinitely better than the dark brown dust mixed with water consumed through South Underrail. This is something from the north. And if the delightful aroma is any indication, tasting it has got to be quite an experience. You take a step forward toward the man sitting at the desk, looking at letters and numbers and symbols of various kinds scrolling across his screen. He hears you and turns around, and in his hand a tea flask of smoking black liquid. It is coffee, after all. Yo, you need something? Are you Jeremy Seeger? Professor Oldfield told me to see you. Yeah, the one. You gotta be one of the new sec troopers, huh? Welcome to the Hell's Gut, man. That name seems more and more appropriate the more time we spend here. Am I right now? Well, anyway, what have you got for me? Professor Oldfield wants to know if you compiled the recovered data for him. We were under attack, man. Now, I may be a kind of person that rarely lifts my ass from the chair, but even I'm not that extreme to sit here and sift through this stuff while people are dying, like, around me. He turns to the computer and opens a file, sighing. But yeah, I do have some of the important bits sorted. I'll send it to him as soon as the network's He glances at one of his monitors and raises his eyebrows. Oh, Marcus sorted the power. Extra, sending it now. What's this about, really? The data? The professor mentioned it's some kind of breakthrough discovery. Oh yes, you betcha. You see, ever since we got here, we've been trying to find a way to enter that building just across from my tent. Keep. The panel by the gate is totally unresponsive, and the walls are extremely thick and sturdy. Hey, the building did survive the Biocorp assault on the island after all. And you know, we don't just want to blow things up here unless we really, really, really gotta. Now, the building's still got power, okay? As we're easily picking that up on our instruments, but so far as we haven't found a way to interface with that panel. Until I discovered this data. According to it, the panel is actually a scanner which authenticates a person based on the small active radio frequency identification, or RFID microchip that is most often implanted in the right hand. So if we find one of those microchips or learn to... Wait a Nixon second, why am I telling you all this? Because I asked you. Well, okay. We can find a working chip, we find a working chip and we're in. All other NFT facilities should work the same way, so we'll be able to gain access to those as well if we can get through the natives. Anyway, it seems every NFT citizen had an implant. These implants also contain some other personal data. Really? Sorry about that. But that is of secondary importance right now. So where do we find one of these chips? Now that's an ascending two-note sound interrupts your conversation and something flashes on the bottom of his right screen. Excuse me for a second, it's the professor. Puts his coffee aside and his headset on, adjusts the microphone, and clicks the icon flashing on his screen. A window pops up. Its top right corner bearing what appears to be the University of Dees logo, an outline of a frontal view of a grandiose building placed in a circle under which University of Dees is written in a serif font. Then the face of Professor Oldfield appears, speaking words only Seeker can hear. Yes, sir? You did? He turns to you, still talking to the professor. Huh? Yes, he's here. I'll tell him. He is still facing you, but his gleaming eyes are looking through you. Oh, thank you, sir. He smiles. I know. I'm well aware of that, sir. Excel. I dropped the comm once the attack started and broke it. Yes, I understand. What did the professor say? Just as you open your mouth, his face disappears behind a broad smile. Really? Yes, sir. Thank you again, sir. Extra. Yes, I'll tell him what you said. Goodbye. What did the professor say? That you should see him now. Anyway, you stopped at the, now that's the... Actually, the professor will fill you in on the rest. Alright, I better get going then. Okay, see ya. Weirdo. Oh, I didn't actually look at the armor, but there's the Aegis Sec Trooper armor. It's decent if you're going against guns, at least. It's basically a 60%, 60 and change percent reduction against bullets. Helmet, more of a... Actually, it's more of a better gas mask than anything. Yeah, it's a gas mask with actual benefits attached. Unfortunately, really high armor penalty, which the gas mask does not have. In fact... Oh, okay, well, if you were to equip both pieces, that'd still only be 14% armor penalty, so... But, yeah, it's not typically something I would use under most circumstances. You're here, Bacon. Good. Sneaker just sent me the files. Told me to see you. Yes, I have asked you to come to my tent in order to explain to you what this whole expedition is about, what its purpose is, as well as the details of your first mission. For, after all, Unless you have sufficient wider knowledge on the subject of our interest here, one cannot expect from you to perform optimally, can he? I've been receiving bits and pieces here which have sparked my interest. Excellent. Some 3 to 3.5 centuries ago, this whole sea, this whole enormous cavern, was chosen as the location of a major NFT project, the abbreviation standing for New Frontier Technologies, a supercorporation that can be said to have been comparable to Biocorp in power and influence, to Biocorp and the other four supercorporations, to be exact. Other four? Security Agency, Bionic Institute, Nucleus Corporation, Transcendence. Along Biocorp and NFT, they were the T6, the six super corporations of the pre-descent times. The old world, if you prefer. NFT is the one we'll focus on. New Frontier Technologies is, or was, I should be more accurate, a super corporation primarily dedicated to discovering, exploring, and populating new environments, worlds mankind could only dream of making their homes. They developed technologies that would allow them to adapt these environments to the needs of mankind, but also do it in such a fashion as to preserve it as much as possible, or in case of barren, desolate places, to breathe new life into them and turn them into something greater. They were explorers, visionaries, futurists, and, as often follows, utopists. We do not, or might not, ever know where they had expanded following the descent, and whether they have met any success, but the one place they've settled in that we know of is right here, under the surface, in this area where, sadly, their success no longer resides. What was this place called? It must have had a name in the NFT's time. We don't know, unfortunately. No records exist that could tell us that. The name we academics use is the Black Sea Project, but that is just how we've designated it. We hope that will change soon, though, after we have learned more about this place and what had happened here. You mentioned something about Biocorp military. Are they responsible for all this? Yes, it has been known for years with great certainty that it was Biocorp's Navy that had demolished NFT's facilities and killed, for all we know, the entire population. It was a holocaust. This very island was the first and last stand NFT had made before their demise. The exact reasons for this brutal, merciless act are still under debate, but the best substantiated and thus most popular hypothesis is that Biocorp had seen NFT as competition and sought to eliminate them. Some scholars say that they had been in conflict even before the descent, but then again, there is also strong evidence suggesting the exact opposite. He shrugs. What is a fact is that Biocorp was the one who initiated the attack on NFT after discovering their facilities here. That much we know from Central Archive records, but more on these some other time. Let us remain focused, for we could go on forever on this subject. He takes a sip of water from a plastic cup that had been on his desk since you came in. So far, we've established what NFT was, what their vision was, and that the Black Sea is one of the locations, if not the only, where they attempted to realize it. What follows is their demise at the hands of Biocorp military, after which things might become rather dark, unclear. Our mission here is to unearth history, to piece together the events that led to NFT inhabiting this place following the descent, to learn what happened during their reign and what their technological achievements were, what they discovered. Not only that, but also what happened in subsequent years after they had ceased to be. Biocorp slowly abandoned the Black Sea, after making sure their enemies would not rise again, but we don't know why. They never exploited any of the NFT achievements here, nor expanded into the area themselves. Why? This place has been shunned ever since, and there has to be a reason. There are many questions that await answers, and we hope the expedition will bring us just that, answers. Your ultimate mission, Bacon, no matter the recovery or escort job you might have been sent on, is to bring us history, technology, art. Have you seen the enthralling sculptures that still guard their long-dead creators? the lighthouses, proud and beautiful, guiding even those who they were not built to guide. I do apologize for all the background noise, though. I don't know what's going on today. Okay. They produce so much, and it would be a shame not to preserve such marvels. And their technology, born out of the super still will to tame the untamable. Their technology could illuminate this dark world for us like we've never imagined. Drink some more water. Goodness me, even despite the dangers. Right now, I personally wouldn't be anywhere else but here. Frankly, Professor, I can't wait to get started. I'm just going to leave immediately after we're done here, and don't worry about it. You got me all hyped up now. Excellent. That kind of spirit is precisely what we need. Now, with that out of the way, let's proceed to your mission. Seeger has recently managed to recover data from one of the NPCs. He also shared with me the things you were just going to say. Oh, I see. How much did he manage to tell you before I video called him? Tell me the NFT personnel were implanted with these microchips and that they can be used to open the keep and other facilities. Didn't tell me where to get one, though. Ah, good. As far as we know, all the personnel had them implanted in their right hand between the root of the thumb and the index finger. But the problem is that all the bodies we found on the island either had missing or damaged limbs as a consequence of the battle in which they fell. Those that had an intact right hand had microchips that are sadly no longer in a functional state. Finding bodies is a difficult task, since it seems that the largest battle occurred here, right on this island. Those who did not participate have remained locked in the facilities, most probably, and these facilities we cannot open. Most, I should say, because there is one, the West Storage Depot. Hold on, Chief Briggs mentioned a whole recovery team going after this. Shouldn't we all be briefed? The Chief has been busy, so I am not aware if he has assembled the team yet. Regardless, everyone else has been briefed about the things we just discussed. I've told you my part. The rest is up to Chief Briggs. See him in his tent. I've forwarded the data Seeger sent me. Checks his computer. Yes, I did. There. That is all I had for you. Do you have any further questions? Let's see. Other questions for you. What can you tell me about Seeger? Ah, Jeremy, yes. Good fellow, one of the finest students at the Faculty of Information Technologies and the head of the university's IT center. He's been an assistant of mine in that field for a few years now, even though his appearance might not suggest it in the least. That's nothing special for us Southerners, really. Regular street looks. Yes, I've seen enough in Core City. Goodness me, he wasn't like that. He looked normal, by our standards at least. It all began with his recent move to Hexagon. Hexagon? Hexagon is the second largest city in North Underrail, second only to Dees. But once you step into it, it's as if you've stepped into another world. It's a tech hub, a haven for tech heads and tech criminals alike. But to me, it looks more like tech slums, with all the stores, augmentation shops, cyber centers, tech armories, all crammed together in this confined vertical space that is Hexagon. And Seeger naturally found this attractive. Indeed, there are some things you can only find in Hexagon, and that I can understand. But by the caverns, this recent virtual mixed reality, whatever it is, craze that spread among the Hexagonians has captivated, magnetized Jeremy as well. I was seriously considering taking someone else to this expedition, fearing he'd show up with visible ocular implants or some other kind of augmentation done in some shoddy Hexagonian shop. Should have seen some of these people. Seeger's appearance is just a mild case of exposure to Hexagonian depravity. But he is an expert at what he does, and I needed him here. Tell me about the super corporations. Security... Okay, I already said that much. Tell me about the other four. As far as it's known, in the years before the descent, the end of history, as some old records call it, there were six super corporations. Big so called multinationals or transnational corporations, all members of the T6 group. These supercorporations were, by the end, the most powerful political entities of the pre descent world. They are BioCorp, very well known to us all, New Frontier Technologies, Nucleus Corporation, Bionic Institute, Transcendix, and Security Agency. What is the T6 group exactly? At some point in pre-descent history, this group was formed in order for the supercorporations to collectively maintain, negotiate, and defend their interests primarily against nation states, which were these political entities unified by wholly different factors than those of supercorporations. What are these nation states? Well, Bacon, in simple terms, a nation is an old concept wherein the political identity of certain people matches their cultural identity. Take a group of people speaking the same language, sharing the same territory, origin, ethnicity, and mentality, and give them consciousness of their political identity. Imagine all South Underrailers united under the same banner, so to speak, and working toward the same goals, and being comprised of people who are very much alike. Currently, there is no entity. Currently, there is no unity, but each station has its own interests and its own way of life. Could there be nation stations? Goodness me. Won't say it can't be done, but nation states were large communities spanning great territories. Stations are small, minuscule in comparison. The word nation simply implies something greater than that, at least to me. Of course, with many things in life, how nations define themselves or other nations was often a matter of debate, disagreement, and violent conflicts. That is a whole different topic. Did you personally choose Aegis Incorporated for this expedition? It wasn't my decision alone, Bacon, no, but they were my top choice as well. They are simply the best in the business of security contractors. Plenty of experience in most of these sec troopers, protectorate veterans, as you may know. They were an obvious choice for this kind of mission. And Chief Briggs, did you know each other from before? Richard I had met a few times. There were lectures of mine, unimportant. But goodness me, we didn't as much as strike up a conversation. Only when I needed to speak with him regarding his employment for the Black Sea expedition did we really, how should I say, get acquainted. Over the course of these 2 weeks, dare I say, it grew into friendship. By the caverns, I hope we all make it out alive. This whole expedition seems like an expensive endeavor. Did the University of Dees finance it? I'm afraid this expedition's finances do not concern you, Bacon, and they won't be discussed here. All you need to know is that you will be paid the amount you and Chief Briggs have agreed upon, and you will be paid on time. Now please, I ask of you to not insist on this matter any further. Goodbye, Professor. Bacon. Salute him, Chief. Have you finished Professor Oldfield's task? Yes, sir. He also explained to me our mission here and introduced me to my first assignment before sending me here. Very good. Have you collected your gear from Marcus? Yes. Very good. Your assignment is to find a working microchip so that we can pass the authentication and authorization scan in order to enter the keep and other facilities. If the data Seeger has recovered is correct, but we have little reason to doubt it at this point. You might have noticed that there is no one else present with us. That is because you will be going on this mission alone. I have no issue with that. Very good, but I will give you the reason in just a moment. The West Storage Depot is where we're likely to find one of these microchips since it's the only facility that's currently accessible. However, during our original recon of the Black Sea, we've noticed several locations where engagements between NFT and Biocorp forces have taken place. There could be bodies there with functional microchips, but we'll need to do a more thorough search of the areas. These locations are close to are close to native territory, so I'll dispatch one heavily armed recovery team to investigate these locations as soon as I'm done with you. Meanwhile, West Storage Depot is located not too far from here, and while not free of danger, it's less likely to turn into a war zone. Therefore, we'll have several locations covered, which increases our chances of finding these microchips. If we're able to do that quickly, and before the natives are able to reconsolidate their forces and attack us again, we'll be able to withdraw all our teams back to the camp in time for defense. Understood. Can you tell me about the West Storage Depot? It's currently home to a community of muties. We haven't tried making any contact with them so far. You'll be our first representative. Our jet ski patrols have approached the island a few times, and while the muties did not respond with hostility, it doesn't mean that they won't to your presence, especially not after this attack. We don't know anything of their relations with the natives, but all of our observations so far have shown the area to be free of natives. To summarize, you are to sail west to B7, enter the NFT facility, and attempt to obtain a functional RFID microchip. If the muties are cooperative, try to extract any useful information from them. How you choose to accomplish your assignment is up to you. This concludes your briefing. Sec Trooper Jenkins is back from patrol and is waiting for you at the docks to give you the keys to your jet ski. You will need it to reach the island. But I don't know how to ride a jet ski. The ones we use are quite simple to operate. Jenkins will tell you all you need to know. That will be all, Bacon. Do you mind answering a couple of questions before I leave? Only if it is something important. Camp security status? There are currently 35 Sec Troopers defending the camp. Our firearm and ammunition supplies are very good. High-tech equipment supplies, very good. Medical supplies, very good. Our jet ski numbers are very good. That is all. So, something that, a unique feature of this DLC is that if you are currently in the Black Sea and doing things, time does move. It doesn't move, I think, if you're here at the base, but anywhere else, time does move. The natives will attack again. The resources here, the ammo, the medical supplies, the troops themselves, that's all limited. There is a fail state for the expedition. It won't stop you from coming back here, but there is definitely a fail state. There are ways around it, but we'll get to that much later. What can you tell me about the pirates? They are a high-level threat, especially now after the native invasion. They are mostly concentrated in the southern bay and along the eastern coast, and have regular jet ski patrols along their perimeter and within the bay. They mostly employ light to heavy firearms and other low-tech projectile weapons, but their fortifications also have large-caliber machine guns, especially at their main base. Do they oppose your arrival? Of course, there were a number of incidents when we first arrived, mostly between our and their jet patrols. They were aggressive, but we came prepared and have managed to repel all their incursions into our territory. But we didn't come here to wage wars. It wasn't our original plan to have a permanent camp on this island, as we are in the open and could be observed and attacked from all sides. Not to mention, it would exacerbate the tensions with the pirates due to our proximity to their positions. We instead plan to move further north, unaware of the native presence there. Who are those natives, anyway? I can offer you little information outside what you've already seen for yourself. They control the entire northern region of the Black Sea. They employ primitive weapons and technology, but their great numerical advantage, familiarity with the terrain, and relentlessness has turned them into an obstacle we haven't been able to overcome. So no one outside the Black Sea knows anything about them? Nothing that would prepare us for what we encountered here. They were an unexpected threat which has, together with the pirates, wildlife, disease, and environmental conditions, forced us into this deadlock we're in. And yet, we are still unable to understand the exact relations between the natives and the pirates, although I find it highly doubtful they formed any kind of alliance based on our observations. Can you tell me about the recovery teams? Pardon me. There is currently only one active recovery team, Alpha. It's essentially a fire team composed of 5 of my best sec troopers. I've yet to dispatch them, but just like you, their mission is to search for a microchip implant. They're on channel 6 of on your navcom if you need to contact them. Leave you to your work, sir. Jenkins! Sec Trooper Bacon. I'm Sec Trooper Jenkins. Pleased to meet you. Chief sent me here to receive the keys to one of the jet skis. Have you ridden one before? No. Don't worry. Where there are many different types of jet skis, the one you'll be using is fairly simple to operate. Put the key into the ignition, start it, hold the bars with both hands, press the levers behind them to accelerate. Most jet skis do not have brakes. You simply release the levers, and the force of the water will stop it fast. Jet skis are simple to operate, but it takes some time getting used to them. Also, don't make sudden turns until you gain some experience, okay? Now, while technically you can use a variety of types of energy cells to charge a jet ski, it is best to use high-capacity fusion cells. These have been specifically designed to be used with vehicles and large machinery. And they are ridiculously heavy, and I don't see the point. What else? What else? Yes. If your jet ski runs out of power, don't worry. Your backup generator will automatically kick in. It will allow your jet ski to move, but it is going to be very, very slow. You'll be using one of the 2 makeshift jet skis we acquired recently. Yours is the larger one. Do not let their appearance deceive you. They are mechanically in good condition. But I thought I was going to get one of the good ones. They are far too valuable to be given to inexperienced personnel. For now, you'll be using the one I showed you. I understand. Can I get the keys now? Yes, here you are. She hands you the jet ski key. You need energy cells to recharge your jet skis? See Marcus. And remember, it's best to use high-capacity fusion cells. For maintenance, repairs, and technical inquiry, talk to Ladelman. That is all the time I have. I need to return to my patrol soon. Good luck, Sec Trooper. Take care of your jet. Good luck to you as well, Sec Trooper Jenkins. So ours... Well, we can actually use either one of them, but ours is the slightly chunkier one. We don't care about that, though. We're going to go right back to Briggs. Oh, can I not ask for it yet? Well, it shouldn't matter. So, there's a lot of really minor details with how this segment is dealt with. Unfortunately, if you do things out of order, or you decide to, like, do efficient runs, where you take care of the several objectives you know are coming ahead of time, and you haven't been given the clearance to do it, they're going to turn hostile. If you leave via other methods, get a jet ski, and come here in the new jet ski, I believe they turn hostile. There's a lot of... Well, we can test that one out, but it's messy. Cold air surrounds the roof. Yahota stands still, gazing at the sea, her cloak flapping in the wind, which doesn't seem to bother her at all. She glances at you, somewhat incompletely, as though allocating anything more than the edge of her peripheral vision to identify you as redundant. It's you. What is it? Hey there. She nods, her eyes scanning the vast, gloomy sea. What can you see from here? You've got eyes as well. You've got better eyes than me. She nods. I need some info on the surrounding locations and what is and has been going on around there. She inhales and exhales slowly as her eyes are panning across the scenery. South, it's nothing but the Jaws, as you locals call it, and that glowing monolith on the cliff. West on that island, that's where the muties live. Not much activity there, generally. East and southeast, pirate territory. Lots of lights, lots of jets patrolling around. Also, the whole eastern side of the Black Sea is basalt rock, but there's a lot of red vegetation there. North, now that's the Dragon Savage Land. Lots of activity there ever since we moved in. There's a few spots which are well illuminated that must be where their villages are. Northeast, there's plenty of vegetation there and some kind of dragon mist. Damned if I know what it is. Can't see much there, generally. He pauses. There's also this guy cruising around on a crane ferry. Old man, armed, refused to cooperate. Could be a pirate, as I've seen him sail into their port on numerous occasions. I've also seen him go north into savage territory. He falls silent for a moment. Gotta keep my eyes peeled at all times. It appears as though you can see a lot from here, but everything's a lot closer than you think. Gotta stay alert. You see the ferryman anywhere? No, he sailed north into savage territory before I lost sight of him. Tell me about the surrounding areas. Oh, that's yeah. Mission enemy activity. Pirates or savages? Pirates. Another helicopter? Lots of pirate jet ski patrols about. They could be up to something. And the natives? Lots of activity there ever since we moved in. They're probably preparing for another attack. There's something I wanted to ask you. You don't seem very pleased with me being around. Company is distraction. I don't like distractions. But you fight well, so you're worth something. Yes, I can tolerate you. Tell me about yourself. He gives you a freezing glance before returning to our duty. Silence ensues. Tell me about the monolith. Can't tell you much. Never seen anything like it before. It's a strange, glowing, angular structure. There's a human-shaped statue beside it. At first, I thought it was a pirate, but it never moved. It's got something in its hand, but I can't tell what it is because of the glow. That's all I got for you. It's a lot colder up here. Where's all the warm air rising from below? She nods. There's a cold air current coming down from that crevice up there. She points to a crevice in the cavern. Cavern ceiling north of you. You can see some bats approaching it from the side and being carried off course some 10 meters south. And it's hitting just this fragging lighthouse. How good of a shot are you? Outstanding. She glances at you. Damn, you got dumb questions. Fragging dumb. And do you have any surveillance and detection equipment you can use? NV and thermal cameras, auto turrets, perimetral omnisensors, and other automatic detection systems. We brought it all. So why not install some of that up here? Scans the sea from east to west. The Hell's Gut is too busy a place. The automatics get confused, start false alarms. Cannot be entirely relied upon. Cameras, they require keen human eyes behind them. Mine are the keenest around here. All the optical equipment I'll ever need is this scope. She looks at it, then through it, as she carries on with her duty. I'll leave you to your duty. But, then I drank the juice. See a small, bright, flat-looking ripple in otherwise three-dimensional space. Also, since I didn't do it elsewhere, try to touch it. As you extend your hand to touch the rift, it seems to part and wrap around it, as if consciously avoiding contact. You can feel cold radiating from it on your skin and tingling in the back of your head. Attune yourself to the rift. Seen that already. So we're going to go right back to Core City. Whoops. Head down to the docks. Hey, look, the shop is open. Whoops. Ray. Substantial man, substantial smile. He greets you as soon as you enter his domain, inviting you further in with a wave of his hand. Hi there, friend. Come in, come in. We're open. What can I do you for? An oily wrench lays on his desk, only an old smeared rag separating one from the other. You notice it, he notices it. An instant later, it disappears into one of his deep pockets, wrapped in the rag. His smile was never gone. That should not be there, he chuckles. We, Gib and I, were fixing one of them 208s for a client of ours. Field repairs, just got back to the shop. Sorry about my appearance. So, you here for a jet? Parts? Repair? I'm interested in purchasing a jet ski. You open your mouth, but the voice that is heard is not yours. I'm sorry. Name's Raymond, sir, the owner. You were saying? I'm interested in purchasing a jet ski. Hardcore. Well now, friend, he snaps his fingers. By the way, what do I call you, son? What's your name? Bacon. Bacon, got it. He smiles. Now, Bacon, I'm gonna ask you one thing before we proceed. Is this your first jet, or have you owned or at least ridden one before? Never owned, never ridden one before. So, a jet virgin. Pardon the expression. He laughs. That's okay, Bacon. We got lots of different jets, Bacon. The only question is what you need and how much coin you got. If you're looking for something cheaper, something to get you from point A to point B, we offer a variety of junk jets at your disposal. If you, however, want to get from point A to point B mighty fast, or maybe dominate some asshats along the way, or return to hauling lots of loot, or just cruising with style, maybe you ought to take a look at something a bit better. I was thinking, yeah, show me the good stuff. I'm not a zoner. Haha, that's what I like to hear. Here they are, Bacon. I keep these inside because I don't want to risk some assless son of a rat nabbing them. As you can see, these are mean machines. We got speeders, fighters, freighters. You know, you came at the right time, as we really slashed them prices recently. Still, do know that some of these can set you back by tens of thousands of Karens. So take your pick. Oh, or you want me to look at all of them, huh? But, sure, I already know which one I'm going for. Oh, okay. But, yeah, there is. Tell me about the torpedo. Speed. That's all there is to the torpedo. Speed. It's one of the finest examples of hexagon engineering. It's twice as fast as a normal jet, twice as light. It comes equipped with the XG Turbo Power 999 electric turbochargers, which brings you from naught to hardcore in the time it takes you to press that sweet turbo button. It's got 2 engines, baby, and almost no weight. This jet, this very jet, is the fastest jet in South Underrail. Let me repeat that. The fastest jet in South Underrail. Can't deny that. Speed. It comes at a price, though, and not just how much coin it's worth, but the fact that its frame offers little protection and durability, and that it handles best when you're going in a straight line. Speed. That's all you care about? Get the torpedo. Tell me about the Blazer. This baby's a speeder. It's fast, light, reliable, has turbo, and it looks freaking hardcore. My dad always used to tell me, son, if it got flames on it, it's badass. And so far, he's been right. This is one mean machine, and it ain't a production machine. It's unique, one of a kind, custom built by skilled hands and a racer's heart. Did you know back in the golden days of jet racing, before pirates started infesting the waters and protectorates started sticking their nose everywhere, Mike Burnwater, the most hardcore jet racer that ever was, used to dominate these waters. No one could touch him. He died, sadly, when his steering crapped out on him during a race around the core ring against the Great Jetso, his arch nemesis. And he hit a wall and died in the explosion. This jet, the Blazer, was his brother's spare jet. Mike himself did the flame and paint job. This is not just a machine. This baby got soul. Can't deny that. Tell me about the phaser. Another marvel from Hexagon. Even folks who don't like Hexagon aesthetics appreciate phasers' mesmerizing brilliance. There's something hardcore about seeing a stream of light shoot past you in the dark, and that's what phaser does best. Moving fast and looking stylish, being the second fastest jet I can offer you. I think it's clear that this has a light frame, lots of power, and an electric turbocharger. You engage that, and off you go, blind and unsuspecting folks. If you want style and speed, this is the jet for you. However, this ain't the jet you want to be banging about South Underrail. Most of the frame's been made from X1. X1 class thermoplastic, which reduces the weight but makes the jet a lot less resistant to damage. Tell me about the Shark. The Shark is a jet with probably the oddest backstory I have in my shop. It's a custom-made jet that belonged to this vigilante from Junkyard, Gizzy McGold, who used to go hunting for pirates before the Black Eels started suppressing them. Stories say his wife had been zoned out by the pirates, which is why he went derailed and started killing them. What I know, it started out as your typical junk jet, maybe an old SL model frame, but he put some decent armor on it, installed this triple rocket launcher which uses Harp 1 rockets, and I got them for sale, good components. And then he went hunting. Its speed is okay, but what you really want for is the good armor and the dominating firepower. He got zoned out a long time ago, not by pirates, but by some teenager thug at the rig, after which his jet went from hand to hand before it reached me. Tell me about the Glow. If Blazer's been made to speed and style, Glow's been made to zone out in style. Its whole frame has been made, or more specifically, additively manufactured, from the high-quality X3 thermoplastic, which offers great durability and, due to the advantages of basically printing a vehicle, a uniquely hardcore appearance, and okay speed considering the weight of the frame. It comes with XL55 twin lasers which draw power from the jet's primary battery. You gotta watch out not to use up all your juice when shooting those things. The only real drawback this thing's got is that it leaves you a bit exposed, but other than that, it's one dominating jet. Can't deny that. Tell me about the Plasma Leviator. Glow's big brother. The Plasma Leviator is yet another hardcore jet hailing from good old Hexagon. This thing is definitely not as stylish as Glow, but it packs a bigger punch without a question. Instead of laser, this thing's got XP39 twin plasma cannons which draw power from the jets. Yeah, it's got two, since this thing's a power hog. It's fairly slow due to the heavy armor, and the right choice for those who'd rather be trading speed for some extra protection and firepower. Tell me about the Freighter. This jet is for those who got a lot of heavy baggage and a lot of time on their hands. The Biocorp Industries Freighter is a sturdy, affordable jet with 2 engines and 2 batteries, and a okay protection. It's heavy and it's slow, but even with stock components, it'll never struggle, no matter how much stuff you stuffed in it. Even though it isn't designed for towing, it can tow other jets, no problem. Hell, I've used one of these many years ago to tow a small ferry, and I bet you can use it to tow one of them fat rat yachts. And you might find this surprising, but it's one of the most comfortable and stable jets around, even when going in top speed. Can't deny that. But tell me about the Devastator. Devastator. The name says it all. Devastator. Manufactured by Biocore Armory, Devastators were designed to be tanks on water and were to be used by the Underrail Protectorate. Equipped with a single state-of-the-art FC-2 fusion cannon, there isn't a vessel in the world short of a battleship that can come up against this rideable domination. However, it turns out the cost of making one of these, primarily because of the fusion cannon, was too high for the Biocorp Armory to mass produce, especially once they figured out they rarely needed anything better than their old trusty cruiser. Around 10 of these have been made, and a few have been purchased by some dominatingly wealthy gentlemen in North Underrail. Eventually, one of those ended up here. What more can I say? It's slow even with two engines. It's devastating. It has two batteries to last a long time, and it's the most expensive jet I got to offer. What are some important things I need to know when choosing a jet ski? Well, it depends on what you want from your jet, but basically, you can break it down to four parts you gotta consider. The frame, that's the most important one, the engine, the battery, and the suspension. There's a bunch of other stuff you can get for your jet, accessories and whatnot, but these four are the pipes and barrels. Tell me about the frames. The frame is the jet itself. You can exchange engines and batteries, with limitations of course, and tune your jet to your liking, but you change the frame and it just ain't the same jet no more. You want a speeder? You get a light, slick, sexy frame. You want a fighter? You want it to be sturdy, to have guns and armor. You want to haul loot? Room for a big engine, so you got a lot of power. Speaking of that, the weight of the frame is very important, because no matter how hardcore your engine is, if thing's too heavy, you ain't gonna be doing any racing with it. Some frames can support certain components, but others cannot, and some can even support multiple engines and batteries. So you gotta be thinking about that as well if you want to upgrade your jet. Engines. Engine is what makes your jet move. Now before I continue, I work with electrics only. I say that because there are astros out there that do build jets and vehicles in general that got internal combustion engines. Yeah, people use what people got laying about, eh? Anyways, when it comes to engines, things are fairly straightforward, especially nowadays when everything's so modular. By the way, some jets can support two engines, so you just gotta connect the extra one and now you got two. Easy peasy. The better the engine is, the more power your jet's going to have and the faster it's going to go. You got some limitations on the size of the engine you can put in a jet, of course, which mostly depends on its frame, and some engines use more juice than others relative to their output. Other than that, though, it's just a matter of cashing it out and putting it in. That's something even its owner can do, if you have the coins. Batteries. The jet ain't going to run on love and caring, it needs juice. The battery's what provides that very juice. Pretty much all jet batteries got the same voltage, so they are interchangeable. Therefore, the difference between batteries lie primarily in their size and their capacity. The higher the capacity, the longer you can drive your jet before needing to recharge it. Can't fit a battery in your frame? You better choose a smaller battery, and that's it, bacon. That's all you gotta know about jet batteries. What about suspension? Suspension is what keeps your jet stable and easier to control. Technically, you can do without it, but let's face it, life's a lot better if you got it. Water is an uneven surface, where even when there aren't any waves, you still ride on something that's providing a lot of resistance. Suspension helps you improve your ride quality, keep your aim steadier, and makes your landing much better when you're bouncing over them waves at 100 kilometers an hour. The most important thing is to make sure the size of the suspension is right for the jet. Everything else is just a matter of how much coin you want to exchange for stability. Got it. Let's talk about jet skis. I've decided which jet ski I want. Which one? The Devastator. It's yours for 21,000. So I don't believe I can do any of the mercantiles, but let's see. Well, we'll start at the lowest. 21,000? No way it's worth that much. I'll give you 14,700 for it. No. I'm sorry, but I can't accept that. Wish I could. I really wish, but you know how dominating life is, yeah? Too much. How about 16,800? 18,900 is all I got. Okay, can't do any of them. That's fine. Give them the 21,000. Congratulations, Bacon. You bought yourself a jet. Let's see. I need some spare parts. You're in the right place, Bacon, because we've got a hardcore assortment of engines, batteries, suspensions, from cheap to coin melting. We got it all. Of course, we also stock cells for powering your jets, ammo, and all the... enough of my yapping. Let me show you what I got. So at the moment, we're not going to be grabbing anything unless they've already got a good component, but if you ever need batteries and you've got some of the vehicle components, this is the place to come and get your batteries and repair kits from. So here's our current loadout for the Devastator. We have a BA arm, current 800 medium-sized battery with room for another. Our engine is a B arm shifter 400, another medium biocorp one. We have room for a second engine, and we don't even have a suspension. So let's see about a suspension. I'd like a tier 3, but I'm not seeing one right now. We'll hold off on that for the moment. But we do have other ways of getting parts. What's our battery at? Fully charged 800? There's two important things to take in mind now that we've got this. We can now go literally everywhere that's water connected. And there's a fair amount of stuff that falls under that category. However, we're going to recharge our normal stuff, make sure that the expedition hasn't turned immediately hostile for no real reason. And once we've found that, I'm going to call it for now and check on some stuff. Next session of Underrail we'll be taking to, unless there's issues with this, we'll be taking to the waters and scouring out everything. Yes, yes, Sag. When I resume streaming this evening, it'll be more Resident Evil 4 finally. That'll probably be in a little while. I do want to check on some stuff and clean some stuff up. Another helicopter, jeez. But all in all, should get good. This should open up a few new avenues of exploration, and provided nobody's hostile, and they shouldn't be. Nope, everybody's still golden. So yeah, we will pick up next time with more water-based travel. I'll save at my jet ski, and that's where we're going to call it. We are steadily getting to the point, though, that we are going to need to start picking up some of these side quests. They're just sitting there that I've been playfully ignoring this whole time. To unlock new stuff, get more points, and whatnot. Story will eventually progress proper, but you don't rush the story in this for a lot of reasons. You'll suffer. So, there we go. Thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed. Like I said, we'll continue later with Resident Evil 4 once a few things have been situated. But for now, we're gonna call it here. Take it easy and have a nice day. Thanks for coming, and hope to see you in a few hours.